Tokazani Juju Mamas. Y'all know I wasn't going to do a reading until September, but I've been feeling the vibes lately, so I'm going to go right into it, okay? So, right now, a lot of y'all are going through this releasing time, okay? You could be on your period right now. And I want you to be mindful of this time because this time you're not just releasing, the blood from your uterine lining. You are literally releasing parts of yourself that you have to let go of, okay? So that things in your life can be rebuilt. You need your uterine lining to be stronger. You need it to be more protected. And so I want you to use this time to release everything that doesn't align with you. It is not fruitful. Any grief that you have, use this time to fully release it because we are entering into the fall season where the leaves are letting go. Look at the pattern. We are seasonal too as women. We go through cycles too as women. So release, let go, because things are going to return. Some of y'all are disappointed, rightfully so, that your periods are not regular or you are having a period and you thought you was going to be pregnant. But I'm telling you, seasons like this is because there is a deep a deep release that has to happen. Okay. And that's just the season that you are in. That's why when you book a fertility reading with me, we speak about the seasons that are just a little bit more aligned with your life path. Okay. I've had juju mamas who wanted to have a baby in the spring and the summer, but she got a reading from me and it literally said the winter time. And she had multiple miscarriages. So she aligned with that season and she's probably on baby number two, maybe even three at this moment. I think she had two. Okay. So the seasons are just an aligned time. Okay. Can things happen out of season? Of course, but when you have a fertility reading with me, the seasons come up and it's just a more aligned time for you to have your baby or conceive your baby. Okay. And speaking of baby, I do see a baby boy, and this baby is coming in strong. This baby has heard you through your tears, has heard you talk to him, and he is returning. So if you've had miscarriages, this baby boy is returning. Okay, and it's beautiful because it just says literally, he hears you. Your baby hears you, honey, and he is returning, and he's returning strong. Okay. So let that be confirmation that this season that you're in, and some of y'all gonna have a baby in the fall, but the fall is about releasing the old, you know. But the fall is your time. Okay. It could be your time of conception, it could be your time of birth, but it also is your time to release all the old things you went through this season. Okay. Let the leaves fall. Okay. Let the leaves fall. Let your womb do what it needs to do to restore itself. Let it go through the season. Some of y'all are not waiting. I have juju mamas who have multiple miscarriages and they just try to get pregnant back to back to back to back to back. Don't even let their body go through this season and cycle just because the doctor says it's okay. I'm telling you, spiritually, it's not for a lot of juju mamas. Okay. Um, a lot of y'all are afraid to make mistakes. We're human. We're on this earth to experience different aspects of life, whether it is good or not so good for us and other people. So, because you're afraid to make mistakes, you don't commit to one thing. You don't see that thing through. You're on to the next one, on to this, on to that, on to that, on to that. And you're still in the same fucking spot. You need to be still and know that you are God. The God is within you. We are goddesses, okay? You need to listen to the inner goddess within you. She will literally tell you when to sit still when to go through the cycles and seasons. But because you are very much like who was it in the Bible? Who was Mary was sitting at the feet of Jesus, but Martha was always busy doing this, that. That's how you are. Always busy, always trying to do this, always taking action. When this is a spiritual thing, honey, you got to tap into the spiritual side of things. That's why you're here. That's why you're watching me. Okay? A lot of y'all are planning with no progress. That's unfortunate. That really is. Um, Gosh, but you're about to discover something in February. Okay? Um, you're going to figure out why you've been planning, but there's been no progress. You're going to figure out the why. You're going to have an aha moment. And it's going to be so spiritually divine. You just gonna know. You're gonna know, okay? Um, a lot of y'all are gonna leave home. Some of y'all really need to leave home, your hometown. Some of you need to travel to meet people, to connect with other people. So start booking your travel plans right now, okay? A lot of y'all out here hustling. Why y'all out here hustling so much? That's a masculine energy. Don't be hustling out here. You're supposed to be receiving. You're supposed to be allowing. And you out here hustling. Why are you hustling? Know your self-worth as a divine feminine. I swear by the declaration that I am well rested and well paid because I allow certain things to come into my life and I don't force it. There was a time when I did force it and stress over it, but now I'm in this energy of being, allowing, tapped into my femininity. I'm glowing and it's showing, honey, okay? So while you are entering into a season of bearing much fruit, number one, you need to learn your self worth. Number two, get rid of that hustling mentality. That's a very masculine energy. You need to think strategically and take calculated risks, but that risk doesn't always mean that you have to hustle and do this and do that and do that. Okay. You just allow and flow. Okay. Allow spirit to flow through you, um, and do miraculous things. Okay. Because we work in that realm, y'all. Okay. Because we are the portal, we have access, right? So utilize it. All right. And some of y'all are just living beyond your means. Okay. You're obsessed. You're obsessed with work. You're obsessed over having this baby. You're obsessed, and it's bringing up your cortisol level. You know, everything that we go through as women, it's hormonal. All right, and I get it, but there's a thin line between desire and obsession. I just want y'all to know, and I see it a lot of times in my readings, and I get it. I get it. You want this baby, but that obsession energy that you would do anything and risk it all for a baby, that's the energy that is a very, very, very particular energy. It can even get so far as being very low frequency energy. Okay, so you're gonna have to get about that energy and understand that you are an abundant being. Nothing is withheld from you. And if you think that, it's because you created that mindset. You created that reality based off of the past reality. Don't allow the reality of the past to be your current reality because you're going to continue that loop of whatever happened in the past. And I know it's easier said than done, but you just need to bring an awareness to yourself. I'm bringing awareness to you too. Like a lot of y'all are living that reality that just happened. And I know I've done it too. I brought certain things in the past into my present and wonder why my future looking, the way it's looking. But you have to be conscious of that. Once you are aware of that, then you declare and decree and you take action so that that reality does not happen. Okay? I'm going to tell you something, y'all. Y'all internally in your spirit, in your womb, you are literally the resource. Your body, your cells, everything within you is a resource. You literally have inner resources. You do. You're a resource. But y'all don't tap into who you are and your godlike nature, you're always looking outside of yourself for validation. You're always looking outside of yourself for things to move, when in reality, it's actually within you. You are the inner resource that you keep looking outside of yourself for. And it's literally tapped within. The kingdom of heaven is within you. Okay? Flowing with milk and honey. You know what I'm saying? And you overwhelmed when that resource is literally within you. All right. And a lot of y'all going through this exhaustion, y'all going through this fatigue period, but you coming out of it. I'm telling you, you coming out of it. And the reason why it's so hard for you to come out of it, because you won't let go of that past reality again. It's fall. It's the season of letting go. When you keep holding on, becoming that bag lady like Erica Badu, it weighs you down. When this season's over, you're supposed to be propelled forward faster, but you can't because it's being weighed down. And this little boy, he hears you and he's trying to come, but you weighed down. You weighed down with everything that's happened in the past. You afraid. I get it. I get it. Um, a lot of y'all are moving from being overwhelmed to having plenty. Okay? You're overwhelmed at everything that has went wrong, but I'm telling you, y'all are about to enter into a season where there's going to be more than enough. You're entering into a season where you realize that you are abundant because you are the inner resource that you've been looking outside of yourself for. Everything is within you. But because we lack awareness, we seek outside of ourselves. I've noticed that when I started loving on myself at a deeper level, I attracted a love at a deeper level. Okay? It's a beautiful thing, y'all. It's a beautiful thing. Some of y'all feel like y'all incomplete. You want somebody that completes you. So the Most High gave you your partner. And now that you have your partner, you still feel like that person ain't completing you. So now you want the baby. And when you have this baby, you still gonna feel incomplete. It's because you have to be whole first. You're looking for something outside of yourself to complete you. And that shows me that you're lacking wholeness. The path that we are all walking on is holistic wellness. That encompasses the body, the mind, the spirit, the emotion, the soul. All of those things need to be in this wholeness, okay, for your experience to be abundant. Some of y'all are opening up your portal, opening up your spiritual gates to trickster spirits. You're doing this ritual and that ritual and saying this mantra that you don't know what it is and doing this and doing that. And you are inviting trickster spirits. You are inviting spirits that will literally take your child that has the potential of coming through this portal. So be careful with the spiritual work. Be careful with the spiritual practitioner that you work with. Make sure they know what they're doing. That's why over 1,000 women have came to me. Because when that portal's open, I invite our guardians into this sacred space. Okay? And many people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to maneuver energy when it shows up in a certain way. And I'm gonna tell y'all, during the ritual, some of that energy be showing up in some weird ways. And you have to know how to fight in the spiritual realm, because we are not wrestling against flesh and blood. We are wrestling against spiritual principalities in high and low places. And unless that person know how to spiritually fight off different beings I wouldn't even work with them. You want to work with somebody who's just a light worker? Nah, honey. You need someone who can go high and go low. Even Jesus went what? To Hades and took the motherfucking keys, okay? He went high and he went low. So you need a spiritual practitioner who knows how to go in between the realms. I'm not just right hand, honey. I don't write with my right. I can write with my left hand too. You know. All right. But a lot of y'all are receiving a lot of breakthroughs, but you really have to ground yourself. All right. You have to accept what is going on in your life right now. Because I was just talking to a Juju mama who is becoming a beautiful, beautiful close friend of mine. And she was like, I participate in your ritual and I just feel my baby coming. And I'm going to tell y'all, my rituals, pregnancy comes in waves for my Juju mamas. It's almost like when you're around a bunch of women, a lot, our menstrual cycles will start to sync. And it's very much like that. When you are a part of a group of Juju mamas, our pregnancies, our breakthroughs will start to sync up. And I feel that. I think in my last video, I told y'all something very significant is going to happen in the winter time for a lot of my Juju mamas. I feel it. I feel it very, very strongly. The last reading was the baby girl, but this reading, it is definitely a return of this baby boy. Okay. And for those who have been waiting on a baby boy, he's been hearing you. He's been hearing you. He's been hearing the strong desires from your partner too. Okay. And I just want y'all to know that it is happening. What you can do is, if you do have an altar, you can place some coconut milk on that altar. All right. Um, babies really like milk, right? Place that coconut milk on the altar. Um, some people like, sometimes it could be goat milk too, but they're saying coconut milk. Also, you can take a white bath as well. All right, look it up. I'm not about to be telling y'all everybody does white baths differently, but these things will draw this baby to you. Some of y'all need to buy your baby a comb or a brush because I just feel like your baby's gonna have a lot of hair. So buy that baby comb, buy that baby brush, place it on the altar. If you have like in your bedroom a little space, dedicated just for your baby, buy little trinkets. Invite that energy into your home. Buy the little onesies, keeping it by your bed. You know what I'm saying? I'm very serious about that. Invoke that energy. All right. That's all I have for y'all. I do wish you well on your journey. I really, really do. Just know that you are powerful in everything that you touch, that you are evolving. Don't get discouraged for doing things the incorrect way. We're all learning, we're all growing. I also want you to be mindful and careful with what you open yourself up to. All right, because there are some energies that you really don't want to tap into. All right. Um, and just make sure your partner is also not tapping into certain energies. I see this a lot in my couples fertility reading. The partners are like spiritually, like, I hate to say that, but disgusting. They're filthy. It's a lot of energy on them and they're not even aware of it because they don't do the cleansing or anything. You out here cleansing and doing all this and doing all that, to spiritually freshen up and purify yourself, and your partner's not doing anything. They just spiritually just unclean. And then you sleeping with them and trying to manifest a baby, and I see that a lot of times. So make sure y'all book a couples fertility reading with me, okay? Because I see a lot with that partner. And some people, once you get the information, I hope your partner takes it to a heart because this spiritual Journey is not easy, um, and it's real. And you want to make sure that both of y'all are going, in the right direction. Can two walk together unless they agree? No, maybe. Things happen. Incompatible couples, next thing you know, they get pregnant. It happens all the time, but that's them, and that baby's life is gonna be interesting, you know what I'm saying? But just make sure your partner is spiritually good, because you are a portal, and you want to invite some energies that are not going against what you want to bring forth. Okay, that is it. That is all.